Shout out to Cats Pod.
A good defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Malone is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Podcats? Welcome to the second most important first of this month, and that is the first episode of the Cats Pod. Obviously, the most important thing this month is the return of FCS football, the return of your defending national champion 2025 FCS champion Bobcats. Eric, how you feeling today?
Oh, still riding high, man.
Yeah.
A lot of bragging rights were brought out this summer. Have really enjoyed ragging on everyone who isn't a Bobcat fan. That's been fun. A lot of payback happening to those boys in North Dakota. Like a lot.
Yeah.
And more than anything, I mean, it's just nice to be a winner.
It's nice to be a winner, enjoying being a winner. It hasn't happened in 40-some years, 41 years, so it's like just the drought leading up to it, and now I just feel like a renewed sense of confidence going into the season. Like, for me, I know it's not going to be like this for the entirety of the internet, but I'm like, we got nothing to prove. We got a great team. Everything looks super good right now.
Yeah, it's such a weird feeling because every team that I'm a fan of has never won anything since I've been a fan of them until this year.
We thought you were a curse.
I know.
I
thought myself was a curse.
Last year's team broke the Lawver curse, okay?
Yeah.
They broke the University of Montana Grizzlies, and they broke the Lawver curse.
And I think that's the thing, man. Like, the onslaught of the Grizzly jokes, I'm not going to say it's gone, but it sure as heck has subsided. And that's been really nice.
As I was scrolling through the Facebooks the other day, I saw a hat that said, like, beat them twice in 25 or something. Like, twice in 25 is, I think, what it said on the hat. And it just had the scores from the two, the Brawl of the Wild and the Super Brawl. And it was really hard not to just click buy as soon as I saw it. As soon as I saw it, I wanted to be like, and it was the nice golden yellow, perfect for like a Gold Rush hat for this year. I was like, whew, this is tough to scroll by. This is tough to scroll by, but we got to save that money. We got to save that money because we're gonna need it for tickets.
This is the first time I think that not that we haven't been chomping at the bit to start a season. Like, we're all jonesing for some Bobcat football, but you don't feel like you need to be redeemed. You don't need another year to redeem yourself. You're finally there. Everything feels pretty good. Like, you can just go, it's like you just go into this football season with a weight off your shoulder. Like, the pressure, I mean, I know that there's a lot of pressure on them, but also there isn't as much pressure, if that makes any sense. Like, they did win it.
Yeah.
For the first time in 41 years, like, that pressure is now off their shoulders, and a new pressure that maybe isn't quite so catastrophic is, put back in its place.
Obviously, there's a lot of pressure due to expectations, but I think that leads into us talking more specifically about this roster, because I think that's the reason why we are maybe overconfident right now. You could say a little bit overconfident in the way the Cats are looking right now, and I think that just comes down to the roster, all the returning players that we have, all the weapons that we kept on this roster since it was considered like a rebuilding year for the Bobcats. It was a rebuilding year, won the national championship, and so that means we retained a lot of the roster. Sure, we lost some people in the transfer portal. You never want to see that. But it seems like the core of this roster is so strong that it makes us feel safe. Maybe safer than we should, but it makes us feel safe.
I mean, I can tell you right now that, I went to a collective benefit auction deal this summer, and the guy who put that on, he gave a speech beforehand, and he said that there were 7 players on the Bobcat football team that were offered 7 figures to transfer. You know, probably more than that, but 7 of them turned it down.
Mm-hmm. That's
pretty
just,
impressive.
just the quality of dudes that are on the team, the quality that Montana State's also bringing to the table. I know I was listening to an interview with the Dowler brothers, and they were asked, like, essentially if they just stuck around because they were from Montana. Like, the question was much more complex than that and much more nuanced, but essentially they were asking, did they stay because they were in Montana? And Taco was like, honestly, not just because we're Montanans, but because of the environment that Montana State has created, because of the environment that Coach Vegan has created, that gave him the opportunities to be like, hey, I do want to stay. And you do see players like that doing NIL money and like earning NIL money through various means and doing what you would think is pretty well at it.
Yeah, I think it's a real credit to, you know, navigating these NIL waters and, you know, maybe even aside from NIL, but creating a culture that makes, you know, people want to stay in it, which I don't know that that's always been Montana State's strong suit to a certain extent. Like, you know, back in the day, players couldn't transfer, but if they could have, I'm not sure they would have turned it down.
You never know, and that's the thing, is you hear a lot of people from like earlier generations and they're talking about it, and some of them will say that like, I would have turned it down. And you think about yourself as a kid, and I don't know for how many people that would actually be true.
Yeah,
100%.
Even
even if you like adjusted for inflation and just gave them that much money and it wasn't the huge amounts that we're seeing today, like, it's still quite a bit of money for a lot of these guys. It's life-changing money.
Yeah,
Not quite family life-changing money, but like it definitely changes your life and sets you up for success in the future.
yeah. I mean, with what, you know, Coach Vegan and what Montana State has done, it's really hard to not give the Bobcats some serious edge this year, which was reflected in all the polls, you know, the first team voting, you know, all that. I still think there was a couple snubs, but you can't have an entire first team of just Bobcats. That's just not how it works.
It wouldn't feel fair if they just put the 11 for the Bobcats up there and said first team. You know,
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be fair because they have to pretend like there's other teams and like they have a chance this year. And now I'm getting way overconfident. Like, I need to chill for a second. I need to take a second. I need to step back. But that's the kind of confidence that's brought on by like a coaching staff that's so consistent and fair and seems firm in their philosophy and firm in what they want this football team to look like and act like. And nobody's executed that like Brent Vegan and this coaching staff. And even the coaching changes that we see this year, all of them look like solid replacements. We don't get bad coaches around here.
No, I mean, he's always been super picky with who he puts in there. It's a well thought out decision. And honestly, I think, I mean, this is probably the most excited about a team that lost, you know, basically all their cornerbacks to a transfer portal. I mean, normally you wouldn't feel super confident about that, but I mean, there's so many guys waiting in the wing, and it's just hard not to think that what we saw from the young guys last year is exactly what we're probably going to see again this year.
Yeah. And I don't think we're reading the press clippings too much because
No.
honestly, before this week, I think neither of us really spent a ton of time looking at the news, looking at what other people were saying about the team. We really didn't care much about what was being said or like what the narrative was. Yeah.
Is almost nothing anymore.
Yeah. Not watching it as much. I'm sure that'll pick up throughout the season, but we'll see. I mean, it's a different kind of year. It's a different kind of pressure. It's a different kind of situation than we've ever had to deal with. Who knows what could happen throughout this year, but everything is looking solid right now. I do have one bone to pick with Brent Vegan, though.
What's that?
He made what I believe is his full-form podcast debut, and it was not with the Cats Pod.
Oh,
It's tough. It's tough. We lost.
Oh.
We lost. We lost.
hold,
we
hold on,
we
Mr.
should
Vegan.
have
Let me.
we should have been better. Not now.
Let me
I'm not
put that
saying
knife-
that Vegan did the wrong thing. I'm saying that we should have been better. Hand up. The Cats pod should have been better.
Well, we can't win them all, can we?
No, we cannot. We cannot, in fact, win them all. We are not the Montana State Bobcats, because then we would win them all. But hence we are not. So, Vegan, he went on FCS Edge. Yes, is Zach McKinnell like the smartest, most well-spoken person in all of the FCS? Yes. Yes.
Oh, come on.
But
What- Am I second and you're third then?
I guess so. Oh, I was gonna say I'm second team vibes.
Oh,
Second
okay.
team, but I think that I could get Vegan to laugh more than Zach McKinnell. I know that. All I would be looking for is the chuckles.
Ben's the anchor of that scout team.
That's it.
Just a real.
Just get me out there. Get me out there. Like I'll start scouting people. Just get me on the couch.
Yeah, I mean, but then you brought up the coaches, and once again, from top to bottom on the coaching staff, you feel super comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
especially with what we saw last year. Both sides of the ball, special teams has been maybe the most improved thing over the last 10 years of the whole team. In all honesty, you have well-established veteran players that have played multiple years together at almost every spot on offense.
Yep.
Defense, you have maybe the best linebacking core in the history of Montana State.
It is.
I don't know.
It
I
is
mean,
pretty
it's very
stout.
very good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an unbelievable unit. Our safeties are unreal. I mean, you have Caden Dowler on the defense. How shaky can it ever be
Mm-hmm.
with a guy like that? And then, I mean, that's really where you're replacing a few of the faces, right?
Yeah.
And they went out and they got that kid from Yale, and he had a lot of offers.
Mm-hmm.
Or not Yale. Was it Yale? I think it was Yale. Yeah, I don't remember now. It was an Ivy League of some sort. But they went out and got that kid. He had a ton of offers to a bunch of really, pretty quality schools.
Mm-hmm.
Picked us over all of them. So that makes you feel pretty good. And then you still had like your Taden Grays of the world that are, that stuck around. And then all the guys behind the ones that left that were as good as the ones that left.
Mm-hmm.
So it truly is hard to see. It's hard to see like a true regression on defense, even with the guys we lost. Like replacing a Paul Broad is tough, but if somebody was going to do it, I put my faith in old Coach Daly.
Yeah.
Our guy,
Mm-hmm.
our homeboy, Montana, born and raised.
Our guy.
I put my faith in him.
The best Bobby in the state.
Yes.
The best Bobby in the state. I really think that the consistency and the fact that we're feeling so good about this team, so good about this team's trajectory, comes from those top three coaches, and also having no turnover in those top three, which I feel like it's been a long time since we could say that, where we have head coach, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator that are all staying, that weren't taken away by some other program. And I know it's only Pete Sturbick's second year, but it was one heck of a first year to be following up. So we're going to give you a lot more credit, and it feels like he's been there a lot longer, even though he hasn't been there more than 1 year. But those three, I think, create a lot of the cat culture stuff that we talk about all the time, and they're the reason why these players want to stay. They're the reason why the roster has stayed intact, and we get the new recruits that we do, and we do so well in the freshman scouting.
Yeah, and I really feel like, some of these recruits that have signed here, in the last couple of months are maybe another step up from what we've, not that our recruits haven't been fantastic, but these ones are turning down offers from, North Dakota States of the world, like, those level FBS schools.
Mm-hmm.
they're turning down those offers to come play for the Cats because the goal is no longer to compete for a national champion. The goal is to win it. Not that it hasn't been before, but now they've done it. They know what it tastes like. Like it's the setup of something real beautiful. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but I feel like we're turning a corner here. I think we are.
Well, the question has now made a massive jump. The question for years and years and years was, can the Cats do it? Can they win that championship? And now that question is flipped on its head to, will they win the championship?
Yeah.
Like, it's not can they do it, it's just like, will they go back to back? Will they continue the success that we saw last year? They haven't given us any reason to not say that. So we're not going to go against them unless they give us a serious reason to start doubting them, which I have not seen so far. I mean, we picked up a second Fleischman.
Yes.
We have 2 Fleischmans now.
Yes.
So we got double the Fleischman, and it's Brune. freaking Brune and Titan. Watch out for those guys.
Yeah. Kudos to their parents. Those are really cool names.
Yeah. They do it well over there in the Fleischman house. They know how to name a person.
Yeah.
They got that down. They did, and I don't know which one was born first, but it doesn't seem like they had to work into it. They just knew what they were doing day one.
Yeah, they got their name based off of how cool they were going to be. Their parents just knew that they were going to be super cool and probably really big.
Yeah.
Like, I'm guessing the Fleischman parents are also fairly big.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they are intimidating people. I'm guessing you see that family walking down the street and you just say, hello, good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. That's what you say.
But
you're very respectful.
I think that's the thing I think that's where the difference comes now, is a lack of turnover, of rosters, coaching staffs, whatever you want. I think that stability breeds the success. You saw it with North Dakota State. They didn't have a ton of turnover, and they were able to compete. They were pretty much in it every single year, if not winning it every year. South Dakota State had a run like that until our old pal Jimmy Rogers gutted them, and I think they're probably working their way back now. But I think that we're in that spot now where our turnover has been low, and there's going to be some guys that they're going to use Montana State as a springboard, and I think that most of the guys are going to use Montana State to win and win a lot, and consistently, because the dynamics have shifted. We're no longer the little brother. As much as they all wanted to say that, and maybe it used to be true, that ain't true anymore. We have the most recent success. We have the most recent national championship. We beat them twice in 1 year. Like, I love how it's so easy to find a set to rip on the Grizzlies now.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's my favorite thing.
It just comes naturally anymore. You don't really have to reach for anything. Everything's just right here. It's just right here. It's all low-hanging fruit. So it's like, am I not going to pick anything? There's no fruit to reach for.
I mean, I feel like, looking at the FCS on a whole, I don't know if you happen to have the, the coaches poll or, whatever polls came out with the rankings of the different schools and whatnot. But of course you have the Cats at the top. But that Grizzly number 2 was shocking. I can't believe South Dakota State didn't get the number 2. That one was absolutely shocking. I mean, South Dakota State at their strongest last year was pretty darn good. Unfortunately, injuries kind of tore them up there for a while. But I mean, you get in, we start talking about how the Cats had lack of turnover. Well, you go ahead and look at the Grizzlies. That was nothing but turnover. Or Illinois State, our national championship game opponent. I think they lost 36 guys to graduation. the Grizzlies lost that maybe more between graduation and the transfer portal. I mean, they lost their entire offensive line and defensive line, yet are picked to be number 2. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, how is that even possible? Like, how do you overcome that kind of turnover and still get that much respect on your name?
I feel like a lot of it is coming from the big names at the top that the Grizz were able to keep. A lot of that is coming from, you see Ayot's there again. You see Gilman's there again, people like that. Those ones give people confidence that, well, this is just going to be the same team. It doesn't, like, if you're not looking deeper at it, looking at things that happened in the defense, things that happened on the offensive and defensive lines, things like that, the places where Montana State typically dominates as far as recruiting and as far as bringing in transfers, is they crush it on the offensive and defensive line. And I don't know if the Grizz are going to have made the appropriate changes to be able to match that.
Yeah, it just seems to me like the logical thing to do with the rankings of the teams this year was to, the teams that were good, that didn't have a ton of turnover, maybe deserved a little more respect on them than the teams that lost their team. Had to completely replace their entire roster.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe the Grizzlies can pull something out of the hat. I don't know.
I feel like you can make, I think you can make a pretty safe argument for South Dakota State, just like you said, for them to be moved up into that number 2 spot. They were a banged up team last year. When they got healthy in the playoffs, they looked just like their old selves. Eventually they ran out of steam, but it was tough even going into those playoffs with the lack of chemistry that they had due to injuries. And when you look at a team that's going to have Chase Mason back, and when they've had Chase Mason healthy, they've looked good.
Yeah.
They've looked very, very good. So you could easily make the argument for them in that 2 spot. Illinois State. Yeah, for sure. With Illinois State, you feel like they are still getting a lot of credit for last season, as they should. Whether things will shake out that way throughout the season, like the Missouri Valley is going to be super fun to watch throughout the entire year. There's a few Big Sky teams that we can get excited about. There's a few of them, but outside of the top, maybe you could call it 4 from the Big Sky, there's not a lot of juice from week to week. And the Missouri Valley, you have like 4, 5, maybe 6 teams that could all come out on top in that conference, like legitimately.
Yeah. I think, without getting too far ahead of ourselves, the disparity in the Big Sky Conference is I think it's honestly starting to get really bad.
Yeah.
The top of the conference is so, honestly, some of these games are just going to be dog walkings. Like Utah Tech, Weber, Cal Poly, Portland State, Northern Colorado. Sorry, Ben, but boy.
Don't talk about my Bears like that when they have their breakout season,
those are
we'll
5
see what's going on
to pick out that are going to be absolute garbage.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's almost getting to the point where we would actively root for like talent to go to those schools, which would not happen in previous years, where it's like we just need it to be more competitive to keep the competition level up. Not just for us, but for like it helps our rankings, obviously, but also to help Montana's rankings, to help UC Davis's rankings, Idaho's ranking, like the teams that we have been seeing at the top of the Big Sky Conference. Those teams, when it comes to the selection at the end of the year for that tournament, your strength of schedule is going to matter a lot. And if you're playing a bunch of bottom level teams or teams that are playing like bottom level teams, it's not going to help you out at all when you need to change a 8 into a 7 or a 9 into an 8 when you're in that range.
Yeah, it'll be. It's the shakeout all the way across is going to be real. Like you said, especially in Missouri Valley, I still feel like South Dakota State's a little bit alone. I feel like they're still probably the best by a little bit, maybe not a ton, but But yeah, then you have South Dakota, North Dakota, Youngstown. I'm missing some, but there's three schools that are going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
They're always kind of competing. North Dakota State, the big bad bully, is gone now. They of course have their bottom dwellers, but I feel like those teams are a lot closer than Montana State is to most of the Big Sky Conference.
Yeah.
In the Big Sky, it's hard to really make a case. I guess you can toss the Grizzlies out because while most of the world believes that they're going to, I do not see it. It's just you cannot lose your entire offensive line and defensive line and still be the second best team in the country. It just does not work like that. I don't care what anyone says, but maybe they can prove me wrong. But then outside of them, what do you have? UC Davis, Northern Arizona, and Idaho State.
That's about it. Yeah. Because I was thinking Idaho passed, and I
Careful,
didn't even
Ben.
fully.
You're flexing awful hard on me right now.
I didn't fully even realize that Idaho's not even in the top 25 ranking. They're not even on the edge of it. Idaho State is at the edge of the top 25, and Idaho might have a steep fall off. And I know they lost a lot of coaching staff, but they've just been so competitive over the last 5 years that I feel like they're going to be one of those teams that's going to have a much higher ranking by the end of the year than they do right now.
Yeah, it could be. Idaho lost a lot again. I mean, they had a lot of guys leave. I'm not sure that they ever really replenished the cupboards necessarily. Maybe, but I'm just not sold on Idaho State. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like the difference between the Montana State and the Big Sky, the rest of the Big Sky Conference is a lot more different than South Dakota State is from the Missouri Valley.
Yeah.
That was kind of my whole roundabout point there, is that these conferences are they're bottom heavy. Like the bottoms are very pronounced, and I think it's really, and maybe that's just how good the Cats are. I don't know. They just that much better. But we remember these final scores from last year against most of the Big Sky Conference. It was pretty lopsided, and I am kind of, it's hard to not see that happening again.
Yeah. It does make it very difficult. I'm not sure. I see the Grizzlies winning a lot of games this year. I see them winning most of the games on their schedule. I see the Bobcats winning most of their games. UC Davis probably won't lose much this year. And then the rest of the teams will kind of be fighting for that fourth spot. Like it's going to be a lot of competition over who gets to be in that fourth spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow the Grizzlies got 7 home games again. I don't understand how they get that done. But
they do
once
play
again,
a lot at home.
they have more home games than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is a pretty big benefit. I mean, everybody loves playing at home. It's easier to play at home.
It is.
But
for sure.
I could also see them losing to Northern Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lose to the Bobcats.
Yeah.
What do they have? UC Davis? I think they do.
I believe they do.
I don't think that's a easy win by any means, and just especially on where that game's located. I'm pretty sure they have Idaho State also.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they have Oregon State, which isn't going to go probably too well, but those games are thrown aside for a reason when it comes to the the final, the end of the season. But it's realistic the Grizzlies could have, those are 4 tough games. They could drop 2 out of those 4, 3 out of those 4 pretty.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's a lock for them, but I'm saying that there's a lot of them where it's like the Grizz are going to be a favorite every single game. Not that they aren't always, but they're
Yeah.
going to be a favorite every single game. And it's going to be the same thing for the Bobcats. Like, there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of stuff. And obviously, we're going to go into the schedules more in depth next week. But it feels like something needs to change Big Sky Conference wide, because I would love for the Bobcats to stay FCS. I want them to stay FCS. But if things don't get more competitive, there's not going to be much reason for the Cats or the Grizz to stay at this level.
Well, I mean, you can look at it this way. I mean, you can go across positionally on the Bobcats, and of course, we don't have any kind of depth chart or too deep or anything to go off of here. But I mean, if you directly compare, and you're better at taking your bias out than I am, but so I'll just give you a few things to pick here, and you can either give me, you know, Cats are better, Grizz are better, or a wash. So, Lance and Ayat.
Oh, Lamson, obviously.
Yeah, I would agree. But even like the big Ayat supporters would have to probably say, at worst, that's a wash. You know, Gilman and Adam Jones. At worst, it's a wash. Taco Dowler, Brooks Davis. That's an easy one.
Don't need to ask that question. Like, you could go, I would say Brooks Davis. Oh, how far do I? Jabez Woods. What about Jabez Woods?
Well, there's your wash, probably, right? Because you're going to take Dane Steele over him.
Probably. Yep.
I don't even know who their tight end is anymore, but I'm taking Rocky Lencioni, Bruin Fleshman, and Rylan Schlepp over whoever their tight end is. I don't really care who it is.
Leuven's Valsen.
Leuven's Vals. Yeah,
that's one of ours. I just like his name.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying
He got a touchdown last year.
We got a minimum of 3 guys that are better than at the tight end position. You give me any one of our offensive. I'm not even going to ask you. Just all 5 of them are better. And I know they've got some, you know, that Peyton Wing's coming back. Would you rather have Peyton Wing or Cole Taylor? Cole Taylor.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy one.
Great Falls.
Would you rather have Peyton Wing or Bryce Grieve? That's a pretty easy one too. I mean, I feel like you go through positionally, and it's just such a step up for the Bobcats right now at every point,
in the
including
most biased
who
way.
they returned.
Miles Sandstead versus whoever they have kicking for him, whatever his name is. You know.
How about Brett Vegan versus Bobby Kennedy?
I mean,
Brett Vegan.
He already came back from the dead, so I don't know if he can bring the Grizzlies back from the dead.
That's true.
That's the big
kind
question.
Of witchcraft
That's
have
the
they
big
stirred
question.
up over there in the land of fruits and nuts?
I know they brought Bobby Kennedy back. Now they're gonna bring back the Grizz. See, now this is the reptilian part of my brain saying they're always in hibernation. They're always ready to hand you out more heartbreak. You can't say too much right now.
I mean, Ben, I feel like the people that have listened to us for a while now know that the Grizzlies have turned you into a bit of a whip dog.
I'm a basket case. It's true.
They beat you so senseless for so long that you haven't fully recovered. But I'm telling you right now, it's okay to feel good.
It's a trauma response. I can't feel good.
I want you to pat yourself on the back. You are a winner.
I can't do it. I can't do it yet. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do it yet. Okay. But I mean, that being said, I've already been super overconfident during this podcast. I do feel very good about this team at every position, just like you named off. The worries that have been brought up about this Bobcat team mainly revolve around who's going to replace the cornerbacks. And so earlier today, as I was thinking about this question, who's going to replace those cornerbacks, I pulled up the roster again and looked at like the 24 people we have listed as a DB. And I was like, I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like I just started reading through the names, and I was like, maybe some people will be out of their natural position. That doesn't seem like it's such a big deal when you're being coached by Bobby Daly and the quality of the cornerback coaches that they just, or the new cornerback coach that we brought in, and secondary coach. God, I think it's going to be still a very solid crew, and they're backed up by two of the best safeties that you could ask for.
Yeah. But that, that was the question last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to replace the corners? Because we lost both our corners the year before also.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem to have any trouble, and they felt pretty confident. And, honestly, I feel like there's no difference now. Like, they went out and got one transfer from an Ivy who is a very, very good one, but that's all they felt that they needed.
Mm-hmm.
If they felt they needed more, they'd have gone and found more. I mean, there's tons of people in the portal. They could have went and found the guy that, maybe complements the room more than, is at the top of it. Cause I mean, you're still bringing back Bryant Meredith, he transferred in, decided to stay, had a great year last year.
Yep.
You still have Taden Gray. He's sticking around, and then you got a bunch of young, hungry dudes.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of familiar names. I know they might not necessarily be strictly cornerbacks, but just guys that are in that secondary to bring that experience and everything. When you got like Taki, like Takari Carr, and JJ Dolan, and just guys that I know a couple of those guys I just listed have not been here for years, but after last season, it feels like they've been here for years.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and those are guys that somehow slipped my mind just a second ago that, I mean, like JJ Dolan is coming back hungrier than ever. He had to watch from the sidelines after he got hurt.
Yep.
That goes for, Xavier Aarons. I didn't even mention him in the linebackers.
Yep.
I mean, you literally in the linebacking core, you have Bryce Grebe, Cole Taylor, Xavier Aarons, and Daly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's an unbelievable linebacking unit. That is a hyper athletic, extremely physical group of dudes right there.
And out of all those names, we have missed two names. And we're not even getting into the entirety of the defense when we miss Coulter Petrie. And, of course, Caden Dowler, who we've hinted at about 1 million times because you can't help but not talk about the guy. But
you have a guy like
there's not a lot to be worried about there.
You have him, kind of, the big dog of the unit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's basically what do you call him, a junior coach also? I mean, everybody's going to be asking him questions. He's able to help with the younger guys on top of, maybe a little extra past what the coaches are doing.
Yep.
I mean, it's really hard, and it's a valid concern. How do we replace those guys? Well, I don't even know that you necessarily. It's just what next guy up mentality. I feel like that's how they're going to do it. I mean, the other one is, not that we've seen it a ton, but they're gonna slip up because they're cocky coming off a national championship win. Well, I think we can put that one to bed because I saw all those guys. They were competing in that. There's like a 5K thing over in Big Fork, and all those guys were running. And man, those guys, this national championship win didn't go to their head. I mean, they come over. My 6-year-old son standing there, and he was being too shy to take a picture with them, but Adam Jones and Justin Lamson walked right over and gave him knucks while he was hiding behind his grandpa. So, I mean, they're just good people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're pretty down to earth, at least in my experience, pretty down to earth. Good heads on shoulders. I don't see mental issues going into this one.
No,
I really don't.
I think there's still a lot of focus, and I've listened to a lot of interviews and a lot of news coverage over the past few days, and every vibe that I'm getting off of like Taco and Caden and Lamson and all of the top leadership, Vegan, nobody seems super satisfied, which is crazy. But it's like, it's the Bobcat built cat culture that we have been talking about for years and years that is just coming to fruition because they just genuinely don't seem satisfied. I mean, there was a whole thing, there was a little video online about how a few of the top guys are not doing any social media this year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, that's a move that you make when you're like still hungry to win the championship. Well, that's the move that you make when you've lost the last few years and you're like, I'm really going to lock in.
Yeah.
So if they're going into this season and they're like, okay, now we lock in, where's the ceiling?
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Does the ceiling exist?
Yeah, I that's a good point. I saw that social media thing, and you're right. That is, mute the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Just let all that stuff go, and nothing can get to you at that point. That's true hunger right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one wasn't enough, and I don't blame him. If you have a chance to win two, why not?
Why not? Back to back would be insane.
Yeah,
and I'm ready for it.
Yeah. I am too.
Him too.
The only reason
it's
we're
going to be
super
so stressful. It's going to be so stressful. Like as we get deeper and deeper into the season, the stress is going to kick in.
Do you think I can request to the team stress-free wins every week? Because that's what my heart needs.
Yeah, I think we could request that, and I think they'd be pretty happy with that as well. I don't think that they would be like, oh no, let's have some real barn burners. Let's not just dominate every single game. I think that they would be into it. And which two people make it easy for the Bobcats to stay off social media? Eric Lauver and Ben Christians. Because we got their backs. They don't have to say anything. We're already going to say it. They don't have to respond because we respond.
We're coming out swinging.
We're coming out swinging. Watch out. We got the big club now, and we're not afraid to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. You don't want to get too overconfident.
No.
But,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is kind of what, how North Dakota State felt for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You see the guys that are coming back, and you see the guys that, the guys who just won you a national championship aren't going anywhere for another year. It's like, well, this sounds pretty good. Let's do it again.
Yeah. Looks like we'll just run it back.
But, Ben, we also know that we're capable of waiting 41 years for a national championship. So
that is true. That is true.
We're pretty easy to please.
I really hope we don't have to wait 41 years. I really wish you wouldn't have put that out in the universe, but I understand it is a possibility. Maybe these are the exact things that were being said way back in the 80s. Maybe there was two guys. There definitely was two guys sitting on bar stools saying the exact same things that we are saying in slightly different words.
Yeah, but the year after we won that one, didn't they win like 3 games total?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was a different team. It was a different situation. I'm just saying it's a natural thing to be confident after a national championship and after getting that monkey off of the team's collective and fans' collective backs.
Yes. Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, you can go through, you can go through this whole team from top to bottom, including what, the guys that decided to walk away. And what, all those guys went Power 4. Yeah. That's pretty impressive in of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say, well, even though we lost those guys, we had guys waiting. And then you have 7 guys turn down 7 figures each.
Yeah. And
it's like, okay, now you're really getting me excited here, mm-hmm. And then you go through and it's like you recognize every single name across every front of the team, and you're like, okay, there's not going to be like a cohesion building time period, right? Mm-hmm. Like I feel like we kind of had that a little bit last year.
Yeah.
where the team had to kind of get into rhythm a little bit with Lamson coming in a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not the case this year.
Not
we
at
have
all.
unit cohesion on both sides because almost all the guys were here last year.
Mm-hmm.
Almost the entire coaching staff was here last year. Like it truly is hard to find a reason why they're not just better than everyone else.
Yeah.
And why you shouldn't have faith that this is going to be a spectacular season of some kind.
Mm-hmm. I don't see a lot of gaps in this roster. Everywhere where we lost people, it seems like we have at least a solid replacement, if not two people that can definitely get the job done in tandem. So it's like, it just seems there are a lot of reasons to be confident going into this season. There's a lot of reasons to watch Bobcat football throughout this season, and I know that we are both going to be very excited for that first game of the year and every game this season.
Yeah. I mean, you had Zach Cruz get featured on the Freaks list.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen every day.
And that's not a guy that even gets a lot of press, I feel like. That's not somebody that everybody's been talking about throughout the last couple of years, but he's been a killer when they bring him in. Like, he hasn't been playing like the most snaps of anybody, but last year they were switching out people on that defensive line left and right constantly, it felt like. So it was just waves and waves of them, and Zach Cruz was one of those waves that came crashing down on the quarterback quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, maybe there's your spot where, we lost our those DBs, but I don't know if they had those DBs, made of, I don't know, how do you say it, wreck or, wrecking ability is what the defensive line, like, we lost a lot on the defensive line. Like, not lost, but graduated them.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how they go back to, but then again, you still have Zach Black still there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy who got a lot of playing time last year. Talon Marsh is still there. Got a lot. Zach Cruz is still there.
Yep.
And we'll see. I'm excited to see this 2D, basically.
Yeah.
I want to see who gets the other DN spot. That's kind of up in the air, I think. But, they basically are replacing Kenny Iden, Paul Brott, Alec Eckert, and who's the other DN? Name is escaping me right now, but
there's just a lot of guys here because like we have like Dominic Solano that hasn't been brought up yet. AJ Tenupo, which was a very good player last year. Talon Marsh made an impact. Hunter Charbonneau made an impact.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of guys.
Yeah. What's that? Is that Josiah Suega or something like that?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be really good. So, I mean, and then once again, they didn't go hit the transfer portal for a tackle or DN. So they're feeling pretty good.
Yep.
And once again, this coaching staff has given you no reason to question them at any point.
Yeah. They will have these guys ready for day one. There's far less question marks than there was last year. It seemed like last year almost every single team was a question mark because we saw a lot of transfer portal movement. We saw a lot of guys leave, and we saw a lot more people come in, I feel like. This year it doesn't feel like we have as many big names coming in across most of the Big Sky Conference, to be real. Maybe, I'm sure people will pop out week by week as we start to pay closer attention to the other teams in the Big Sky. But right now it seems like we don't have a lot of guys that we have questions about. It's a lot of teams that we kind of know what they're going to be like this year.
Yeah.
We may have a couple of surprises. There's probably going to be some people that some Cinderellas that come out of the woodwork. But for the most part, it feels like we have a good idea of what teams like Montana, Montana State, UC Davis, Northern Arizona, we kind of know what they're going to be.
Do you still have the list of the top 5 in the FCS again? Do you still have that up?
Yes.
Who are the rest of the top 5?
Okay, so we got Montana State, Montana, South Dakota State, Illinois State, and Tarleton State.
It's interesting. Illinois State, another team that had major turnover, but still managed to keep like their, the guys who were eligible to stay.
Mm-hmm.
That Dylan Lord and those brothers. I'm pretty sure all three of those guys stayed. So, be interesting to see how that turns out. And Tarleton, Tarleton.
We'll see. Tarleton's coach won me over last year. He
So
won me
tired.
over. He
That
had.
neat.
If you go on a 5-minute diatribe about the quality of fresh cracked eggs, you're gonna be my guy. So, Tarleton State has a little tiny corner of my heart right next to Northern Colorado.
Tarleton sounds like a disease or something.
It does. It's really hard for me to say too. Tarleton is. It doesn't roll off the tongue very well for me.
I think my animosity toward Tarleton is 98% the name.
It could be. That's fair.
And
That's fair.
honestly, I just get sick of seeing purple.
Yeah, it does seem
Purple everywhere.
every FCS team in Texas is purple.
I mean, it's kind of funny that Illinois State's the team we beat in the national championship, and they're like the one team I really don't hate at all. I don't even think at any point last year when leading up to the national championship I actually disliked them.
No,
They're
they've
kind of a
never given
likable
anybody
team.
a reason to hate. Yeah, it's that's what makes them dangerous. So they're
Yeah.
likable.
Yeah.
We won't hate them instantly for no reason.
So is it pretty easy right now? We're just going to go ahead and pick Montana State, South Dakota State national championship.
Ooh, already saying that. Okay. Yeah, national championship, Montana State, South Dakota State. What my way too soon prediction is first ever brawl for the country.
Dude.
First
Because
ever.
they're going to be a 5-loss team. They're not getting
First ever brawl for the FCS.
Could you imagine the TV numbers that would do?
It would be pretty good.
Could you imagine how annoying the lead up to that game would be?
Yeah. It would be pretty insane. This year is also in Nashville, correct?
Yes.
I think we have a couple more years of Nashville. Nashville would never be the same again.
Yeah, I heard. So what I heard about that was, there's one more year at Nashville, one more guaranteed year,
Yeah, one more official.
and bidding has started. It sounds like.
Okay.
So they have. Apparently, Frisco has done an amazing job with that soccer stadium. Notice how I said soccer stadium. Just try to make it sound bad, even if it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But God, from everything, I didn't get to go to the national championship, obviously, but from every other person that I have talked to, which is quite a few, said it was one of the greatest experiences of their life. Like, Nashville just did it right. It was fun. There was tons of stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, most of those people went to Frisco too, and they said it just doesn't compare.
Yeah. I think the ambiance and the environment of Nashville is going to always put Frisco in a chokehold. I apologize, Frisco. I just don't have the love for it that other FCS fans do. I feel like because the Cats have never won there.
We've lost there.
We've lost there a lot, but we win in Nashville. So as
Yes.
long as we keep it in Nash Vegas, we're good to go, baby.
Yeah, I agree. But moral of the story is, there's more excitement this year than I think ever before,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really hard to find something to really get worked up about right now.
Yeah.
To really be concerned about or, focus on, because I just don't see it.
I know that there is a fast way for us to resolve that and for us to give ourselves plenty of talking points. It involves going back to a certain Facebook page that I believe we've both been staying off for the entire off season. And as soon as we read about 15 posts on there, we'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Especially if they're from a certain guy named Derek O'Brien. That guy. Ugh.
So, yeah, there's stuff.
No.
There's stuff on there. There's people on there and stuff and people and stuff. There is, in fact.
Back, Ben.
It's coming
good to
back.
be-
It's good to be back. I missed it. We've got a couple of things in the works for this year. Should be very exciting for the people. Is there anything else you want to let the people know before we let them go, Eric?
No, we didn't get into the schedules at all. We're saving all that for next week. We had plenty of other stuff to ramble on about. So
For sure.
no, just good to be back. I cannot wait for football season. It has been a long summer considering the Phillies suck as bad as they do. So off of baseball and on to football.
Couple short weeks, and we will be back into football season, back to Catter Days, back to when life is good and our wives barely ever see us. Sorry, ladies. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube and Spotify. Go and rate us 5 stars wherever you are listening to this at, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday to break down the schedules for the 2026 season that we are all very much looking forward to.
Adios.